Welcome to the Mailware Magic QuickStart tutorials. This section covers customers, or clients. You can create a customer account by clicking the Customers button on the main menu. You'll be taken to the first account and you can click New to start a new one. I'll leave this one up so we can discuss the fields. The billing address is the main customer contact, so John Smith, his company name, address, etc. You can also select any country that you like, and on specific countries the zip code will automatically populate the city and the state, or the postal code, when you type it, so you don't have to key those in. You can then copy that address over to the shipping if you like, and over here you can make changes so that you can save yourself some typing. You can have multiple shipping addresses, but not on this screen. It's stored at the order level, so see that tutorial for how that works. Also in the order tutorial you'll see that you can create a customer while you're taking an order or booking a show, so you don't have to do it here every time. There's also space for multiple phone numbers, fax number, clickable email address, and website address. On the email address, if you have multiples, just separate them with semicolons and just keep typing. When you use the email notification feature, it will send to all those email addresses. After you have the contact information in, you can go to the additional info screen. Here you can set a price level. If you recall on the inventory, there are 4 price levels per product. For props and effects, etc., we use those for different purposes, but when you build shows, these are the prices that you sell those products to, those shows, to your clients. So the default is retail, but if you want a client to get a lower price, you could specify that they're wholesale, and you can use 3 and 4 in similar fashions. When the product is added to the order, depending on the price level set for the customer, will be the price that's charged. You can also apply a global discount that automatically gets applied to the customer. So if we put 10% here, whatever his price level is, he'll get another 10% off. Mailware keeps track of store credit, so it's possible to bank credit with your customer and apply that to orders. These types, you can create as many as you like. We put in some basics for you, like whether this is a corporate or nonprofit, etc. If you want to create your own types, you can go up to Setup here, choose Customer Types, and in the dialog that's here, just keep on adding what you want. True means that it will show up in one of the type fields. Note that there's 4, and false means it won't. So this is good for storing other kinds of information that may be useful to you specifically, because you can use it with reports as well and send mailings out, for instance, to your customers that have had seances. You can select a pay method that overrides the global pay method when taking an order. The global pay method is set as preferences. So if you've got it set for credit cards but you want to invoice this customer, you can choose that as their default. And you can set terms for them as well. Terms can be created at the order screen on the setup menu. You can type a note. This note appears on the order system, so you'll see it when you're booking a show. So it's a nice reminder. It could be special customer, bad credit, anything that makes sense to you. This pop-up note works very similarly, except it pops up a dialog that you have to clear with the OK button. So it's good for really urgent information. Whenever you open the customer account or try to take an order, the pop-up note will come up and remind you of something. Again, maybe bad credit. We're not using these other fields except for date of birth in Mailware Magic, and date of birth should be obvious. That's useful if you want to send out birthday cards, or if you're a mentalist and want to know what their birth date is next time you talk to them. Feel free to use these other fields as you wish. You can specify a customer's tax exempt. If you do for some reason charge tax, then they would automatically not be charged. You can flag them as not to send mail, email, fax, etc. And our reports that we pre-build for you respect these. You'll want to use the same filter on the report to make sure that you don't send a letter, for instance, to someone who said, please don't send me mail. These fields are automatically entered by Mailware. There's a client number, which is built out of his name and address. You can change that formula. And there's a unique sequential number. You probably don't need to mess with these, but you can change them with the padlock if you like. Mailware also keep track of whether you contacted this customer, they've contacted you, or they've actually bought something from you. The original key would be the first key that was assigned to this customer's account, either when you booked a show or took a contact, and that tells you where you found them. So if your ads are working, you can figure out from reports in Mailware which ones they are. You also can see when this customer was added to the system. You probably won't use special pricing, but just FYI, you can specify for product ranges or for specific products exactly what price this customer might receive. The order history is stored automatically for you, so every time you book a show or sell a product, if you're using Mailware for that, then it will keep track of the order date, and you can expand that and see all the items that the customer ordered. In this case, they ordered a mentalism show from you, and these were the effects that you performed, which is handy for you if you want to know what you did for them last time so you don't repeat something. And you can click any one of these and click edit to go right into the order screen and see more details about the actual order. Contact log is a great tool, especially if you're doing your own solicitations, cold calling, etc. Here you can keep notes for every contact with your customer. So in this case, you spoke to the client. Here's the notes that you made at that time and the date, or in this case, we probably don't need a date here, but you can specify a tickle date to do something in the future. It's used as a reminder. I'll mention that again in a moment. Let's go through the fields one by one so they're clear. This is the date that the actual entry was made. If you use add source keys, you can specify them here, and the key will be associated with it if it's relevant. If not, just skip that field. You can type whatever you like in the action field, or you can have it pre-built and it'll appear in the pull down. And then in the long notes field here, you can type as much as you want. It's an unlimited length, so it could be about your discussion, it could be details about the upcoming show, etc. Tickle dates. If this is a future event, if in other words you want to call a customer or follow up with them, you could specify that in the action, specify a date you wanted to do that on, and there's a report in Mailware called Ticklers for Date Range. So every day you can run that. You don't have to print it, you can look at it right on your screen, and it'll tell you what you need to do that day. So you can schedule your calls, your follow-ups, etc. And it will automatically apply your operator ID, which in most cases you only have one in the system that's covered in setup, so that you know who's doing it. But if you have multiple employees there and you want someone to follow up, for instance, on this tickle date, you could change it to their operator number. So you have a whole history of every interaction you have with your customer here, as well as email notifications that are sent from Mailware automatically populated here so that you can see all the emails that went to them. And then finally, the attachments section is where you can attach any kind of file that you like. PDFs, Word docs, images, etc. This is a great place to put copies of signed contracts that clients may email or fax back to you. If they mail them, you can scan them and put them in. Any other documents that you might consider worthwhile that you want to associate with them. So you don't need paper, you don't need files. Everything associated with the client is right here. When we go over the booking shows or order system, you'll also be able to see that this whole account or customer system is available right within that, so you don't have to open the customer screen independently if you don't want to, and that'll make more sense when you see the tutorial.